Oh, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks so much. My honor. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Well, this feels pretty hefty.
It is a little something from me. Go on, open it up and take a look.
What is the meaning behind this?
This is the Huawei Mate 80 Pro Max. See this 80 right here? It is all about that fortune.
Oh, that is nice. That is clever.
If you ask me, the dual ring design on the Mate 80 series is, well, it is a bit hard to judge. This ring looks just like a MagSafe one, but it does not actually have any magnetic function. I feel like it is kind of a waste of a good design. But if you really want that magnetic feature, they do offer an official magnetic protective case with the exact same design. So, to enable wireless charging on the metal body, the lower ring is made of the same Durafiber material we saw on the Mate 70 series. In your hand, you can feel the different textures of the Durafiber and the metal, but it does not feel jarring at all. It is a really well-balanced blend. And the metal backplate is not your typical matte finish either. It actually has a little Easter egg hidden inside. If you zoom in, you can actually see the word MATE. The last time I saw something like this was on the Sony PS5. Another nice little detail. This time, the Mate 80 Pro Max not only dropped the previous Pro Plus naming convention, but is also clearly going head-to-head with Apple. They have ditched the micro-curved screen they have used for years, switching to a flat screen with flat edges. It is hard to say if they are just copying Apple, or if they are simply catering to what the market supposedly wants. Personally, I still prefer the more rounded frame from before. Flipping to the front, you will find the familiar trio of sensors, including the 3D depth sensing camera, which remains exclusive to the Mate series. Now the screen is where the Mate 80 Pro Max gets a major upgrade, setting it apart from the standard Pro version. It is a dual-layer OLED display, which is larger and brighter. Huawei even gave it a special name, the ultra-transparent Linglong display. Its peak brightness can hit a staggering 8000 nit. So let us take it outside. And as you would expect, whether we are looking at photos or app pages, the Mate 80 Pro Max is noticeably brighter than the iPhone 17 Pro. Now the Mate 80 Pro Max also has an exclusive feature, the outdoor exploration mode. That is right, I updated my Pure 80 Pro to the latest version, and this mode is nowhere to be found. So once you turn it on, the phone enters a special interface that reduces power consumption to extend the battery life. The Trace navigation feature can log the route you have taken. You will see a real-time location card right here. And you can also use the satellite network to get weather updates. And if you need to make a call, you can open MeTime for offline communication. As you can see, we have turned off all our networks now to test out the offline communication. Hello, can you hear me? Loud and clear. Okay, let me show you guys where our buddy is. We're currently on the 23rd floor. Oh, so that is where he is. We must be at least 300 meters apart. Say a few more words and give me a wave. Hello. All right, everyone. We are good to go. Besides making calls, you can also send messages, which is pretty neat. Right now, in the public beta, you are limited to 30 messages per month, but that should be more than enough for any outdoor emergencies. This offline communication is made possible by Neuralink. So for it to work, the other person also needs to have a Huawei phone with MeTime. Now, if the other person is not using a Huawei phone, the Mate 80 Pro Max can still make satellite calls. However, for that, you will need to activate the corresponding service with your carrier. As for the pricing, I looked into it. Let us take China Telecom, for example. First off, there is a 10 yuan per month service fee. Now, the most cost-effective plan is 500 yuan for 200 minutes, which works out to 2.5 yuan per minute. And if you do not subscribe to a voice plan, the default rate is 9 yuan per minute. I am curious, for those of you watching, would you be willing to pay that price? Imaging is still a major strength for the Mate 80 Pro Max, and we will just pop the specs right up on the screen for you. What really stands out is the new Hongfeng multispectral camera, which takes color reproduction to the next level. So we also took a few shots with the iPhone 17 Pro for a quick comparison. In a bright environment, Huawei makes the backlit white wall appear brighter, showing a significantly wider dynamic range. The leaves in the foreground also have a more realistic red color. In this set of photos of the aquarium, the background lights are actually warm tone, but the iPhone shot comes out a bit whitish. Now let us look at the night shots. The Mate 80 Pro Max is generally brighter, but the shadows have a slight red tint in it. The iPhone 17 Pro, on the other hand, gets it pretty much right. Moving on to the telephoto lens, the iPhone supports up to 8 times optical zoom. Huawei's is 6.2 times optical zoom, but in practice, the Mate 80 Pro Max still produces a clearer, more transparent image, while the iPhone shot looks a bit grayish. By the way, Huawei also released a telephoto lens kit this time. Well, who would have thought? Even a big player like Huawei is now taking a page from its competitor's book, getting into physical add-ons. In terms of video, the Mate 80 Pro Max adds a new cinematic mode, but it only supports 1080p at 30 fps. Compared to the iPhone 17 Pro's 4K 30 frames per second, it feels like there is still room for improvement. With the cinematic effect enabled, both phones automatically detect people and blur the background. In the actual footage, the Mate 80 Pro Max's overall color tone better captures that warm afternoon light. Zooming in, the iPhone's background has a bit of a soft focus effect, while the Mate 80 Pro Max's looks a little flat. I mean, they call it cinematic mode, so why not throw in a log profile? Would not that give you more room for color grading in post and make it feel even more cinematic? Now, when it comes to the chips in the Mate 80 series, there is a clear hierarchy. You have got 3 phones with 3 different chips, and get this, even for the Pro models, the chip changes depending on the RAM configuration. But today, we are not here to debate Huawei's segmentation strategy. I am mainly here to see just how far Huawei's top-of-the-line chip can push the limits. Time for game test. Let us fire up Genshin Impact. After 30 minutes on high settings, we got an average of 60.1 FPS with 1% lows at 56.1. So this new chip is definitely a beast. The phone's max temperature only hit 37 degrees Celsius, so it handled it with no sweat. Finally, let us talk about the AI features, specifically the HUAWEI step-by-step guide. So to put it simply, HUAWEI learns your actions by recording your screen. So for example, if I record a process for claiming points in Alipay and give it a name, does that mean next time I just tell it to run the command? And the phone will open the app and claim the points all by itself? Not quite, because when I recorded the action, I got 150 points, but this time it is only 1 point. So HUAWEI cannot recognize it. It even knows to scroll down and look for it, but that does not change the fact that it still fails to claim the reward. All I can say is there's still room for improvement. But the smart grip feature for answering calls, that is a really clever touch. So when you get a call and you're using the phone one-handed, an answer hang up prompt pops up on the side near your thumb. And if you switch hands, the prompt follows right along. It is super smart. And it is not just for phone calls. This feature also works for WeChat calls. See, this is where the benefits of native Harmonio's apps really shine. At this price point of 8,000 yuan, I would say, the Huawei Mate 80 Pro Max is a nearly flawless, all-around flagship. Its camera, screen, AI, and user experience all reach the top tier of the industry. It successfully balances the security and productivity needs of business professionals with the entertainment and creative demands of everyday users. Now, if I had to point out a minor flaw, I personally preferred the curved frame on the previous model. After all, with a 6.9-inch screen on the Pro Max, it is not exactly small. So the in-hand feel becomes even more crucial. Alright, that is everything for this video. We will see you in the next one. Bye.